Hey guys, welcome back to the Quad Stop. Glad you could stop by. So we've been making some pretty good progress on the desert conversion on my 400ex. Today we're going to focus on installing our Spall fan kit. It's an aftermarket kit that goes on to the oil cooler to help reduce temperatures. We all know that air-cooled engines are really reliant on oil temperature and viscosity. So the cooler we can keep them, the better they're going to perform, the better clutch life you're going to have out of them, the better response you're going to have clutch-wise, the less wear and tear you put on the engine and the internals. So let's go ahead and take a look at what he sends you. Okay guys, so what you end up getting is the Spall fan itself, the custom mounting brackets, wiring with a fuse holder, weather pack, terminal plugs. He'll send you the extra pins, grommets, and an additional plug if you need one. So this thing is extremely easy to install. Once you actually get this mounted on the cooler, this line here goes straight back to the battery. This side here, this is your ground. And what you will do is your switch will come in and connect here and here. So all a switch does is provide power to it. So depending on what type of switch you use, you're going to have one wire from the switch comes into this terminal and one goes into this terminal here. So let's go ahead and move over to the quad and we'll show you how to install the fan. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove these L bracket or these C brackets here. And you'll have 4 screws. Now we're simply going to place the fan in the center of the radiator. You'll take your Phillips screwdriver, and you'll do the same thing with this bracket. You don't want to get them too tight, you still want to kind of leave them loose so that you can slide that around just a little bit. Alright, so you may want to get a stubby screwdriver, makes it a little bit easier to get in to these lower screws. Once you get all 4 screws in, you're going to want to go ahead and try to center it as best you can, and then go ahead and tighten it down. Now you don't have to tighten this thing down super tight. It will, if you crank down on these things, you run the risk of bending the cooler. So you don't really have to crank them down super tight. You just want to make sure that the fan isn't going to move. All right. Okay guys, so once the fan is installed, we're going to go ahead and take the wiring, and we want to go ahead and try to run this with the loom and get your main battery feed, which is going to be your red wire with your fuse end on it. We're going to kind of just run this down to the battery. Okay. So this right here will go straight off the positive battery terminal here. And we're still in the process of building this quad, so the battery itself isn't hooked up, but once we get the wiring ran, I'll go ahead and hook the battery up. That way there we can make sure that the fan operates off of the switch. Okay guys, so since I'm running a different type of a switch, I have to pin my connector. What that means is I have to put these pins into this connector once I attach it to my wiring from my switch. So my switch is already attached to my quad, so I'm going to go ahead, in case you guys have never done this before, I'm going to try to give you guys a quick rundown on how you can do this. So we're gonna strip a little bit back here. Like so. I'm going to twist it, make it solid. Now the way this pin works is you're going to take the wire and you're going to actually bring it back against it, like so. Let's see if you can see that. So with those two prongs sticking up like that, you can take your crimpers, and with this end right here, if you can see, it has a little notch on it. That's going to go against the solid piece here. You can see that. And it's going to crimp that down. Then you also do the same thing with these. And then that's how you get your pin in. So once you get your wire crimped in there, you have a wire seal there. And this wire goes in, and when you push it all the way in, it'll click and the pin will come out looking just like that. Once you get all three wires in, this is the lock that you'll slide down over the top like this. It sits down in some channels and that'll lock your pins in. So let's go ahead and I'll get this connector pinned for the quad for the switch, and we'll show you how everything's going together. Okay, so I've got my switch pinned into my connector. Now all we need to do is ground it. Okay, so now all we'll do is just plug our switch in. Like so. and let's see if our fan works. And it does. Okay, it's all wired up. We'll make sure we secure that plug before we put all the body work on. Wire is zip tied down. And in case anybody was wondering what type of switch I was using, I use a bar switch. It's billet aluminum, waterproof. It's been a really good switch. I've been running it for almost a year now. So you can pick those up at Rocky Mountain. And I believe they were about, I think it's about $18. So there you have it. Okay guys, so there you have it, the MaxCool Spall Fan Kit by Jay Epperly. Super easy install. Guys, I gotta tell you, if you're running these air-cooled engines, it's so very important to keep them cool. It does affect a lot of different aspects of the machine. So Jay is currently shipping them out there, $150 shipped to your front door. They do come pre-wired, so it is basically a plug and play. It'll come with a switch, all of your connectors and terminals will be wired up. All you'll have to do is hook up the positive to the battery and of course your ground. So everything is included to your front door for $150. I'll make sure that I put a link down in the description below. That way there you can order them straight from him, and hopefully you'll see the advantages that we're going to see out in the desert as well. Again, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again.